a dream podcast, let's go. This podcast is to help people level up and change someone's life. Help people live their dream life. Share inspiring stories of people achieving their dreams. I used to be a lifelong employee living paycheck to paycheck. I was going through the motions. I was sitting on my ass most of the time. But now I've built a 7-figure business and I focus every single day to impact lives. And that's what I'm about to do right now on Working for a Dream podcast. Let's go.
Thank you for making time to be on my podcast.
Thank you for
my podcast called Working for a Dream focuses on bringing on guests who have a story to share so that we can inspire others to work on their dreams, because I believe everybody has a dream and working on the dream is a never-ending pursuit. So thank you for making the time and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, I saw that in the questionnaire that I sent out. You said, I don't even know how to answer this question. We're going to dig deep into who Karen Summers is and find out how you got into the food truck journey. So please tell us a little bit about the background and how you got started.
Well, it goes way back, but I moved where I am now because of what is now an ex-fiance who, right when the pandemic started, decided to go to work one day and never come back.
Okay. Sorry.
He faked and disappeared. Left me thousands of dollars in debt and literally had my mom's rings at a jeweler's to be melted down for mine. And it was, okay, what are you going to do? You know, so I hopped around to a couple of different jobs trying to figure out how to make ends meet because he wanted a stay-at-home wife. So it was like, okay, what do you do? And I went to a few different jobs, and eventually it was middle of the pandemic and I was required to wear a mask for my job. Went to a door in town and met a person who was less than mentally healthy, I'll put it that way, who then decided I was a communist, pulled a gun on me, was not a real gun, complete honesty, but I did not know it at the time, and ended up in counseling, a lot of counseling, did not want to return to the job. Long story short of all that drawn out process, ended up with a workman's comp settlement.
Wow.
Always wanted to go to culinary school.
Wow.
Parents, I went to college, and I never did what I went to school for. Always wanted to run my own business. My dad was an entrepreneur. I grew up at his side. He passed away when I was in high school, but it stuck. And after I got that settlement, it was time to go, okay, are you going to work for somebody else? Are you going to do what someone else wants you to do? Or are you going to do what you want? So I put everything I had from that settlement into my food truck. I've gained a partner since. We're surviving, but not quite to thriving. But I'm at a point where I need to move locations, in part because the house I'm living in is a long, very drawn out story in and of itself, but it is much bigger and less finished than I want it to be. And I don't need this kind of space. So it gives me the opportunity to move myself and my truck to another market. So that's been part of my research, is where I can afford to live that's going to give me a better market for my truck and the capability of continuing it. But I love what I do. Every minute of it. I never regret it. As much struggle as it has been, I never regret it.
It is hard work, isn't it?
I'm sorry?
Hard work, isn't it?
Yes. I love you own your own business. Oh, that's so neat. You get to do whatever you want and make whatever hours you want. Yeah, no, business owns you. If people ask me all the time, oh, food truck, that sounds so much fun. It would be so great. What can you tell me about it? And the first thing I tell them is, if it is not your passion, don't try.
Yeah.
It has to be. You have to be, I hate to say it this way, but you have to be willing to suffer. Basically, you have to be willing to sacrifice to get to where you want to be. I think you have to be willing to be creative and imaginative and kind of reinvent yourself as you go. We went with a food truck that is seasonal, trying to be farm to table in an area that maybe isn't quite ready for it, but a lot of people have really liked it. And we diversify. We also have now a gourmet marshmallow section to our company because this time of year, you can't take a food truck out.
Yeah.
So I'm also working as a chef full time during the college season, which actually works out really well for me at one of the local colleges
Right.
because we're off. So
Yeah.
I'll some take my truck out and still do that. And I'm still within the same sphere and learning new techniques, new information, meeting new people. So I still really enjoy it.
It's awesome, Karen.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Sorry for the, the struggles you've been going through, but from all these struggles comes opportunity, I think. And everything worth doing is really hard to do. So congratulations. Tell me
Thank
about
you.
how you found the truck. Like, how did you go about getting a truck, buying a truck, and finding the right truck for you?
That was hard.
Yeah.
And right truck is relative. Right truck on the outside, and then took a ton of money to get it to where it is, basically. I did not know a lot about it
Yep.
when I started, and I think a lot of people, it was I was naive, no doubt, what it took and how much I would have to work on it.
Mhm.
I've learned how to install a lot of equipment.
Really?
Oh yeah. I found it through, oddly enough, it was kind of coincidental. It was a broker, and then I saw the same truck on Facebook, a lot cheaper. So I contacted the broker and said, I don't know, and contacted the Facebook contact, and they didn't know they had marked the truck up considerably. So we kind of worked from there.
Mhm.
It was a truck that he had invested in with a partner, and the partner wasn't willing, as he put it, to hustle the business enough. So it went under. And he was going through a divorce, and that was part of what had to be sold, essentially. So I did that, and he thought everything worked on it, and I truly believe he did. But things like water lines had frozen while it sat in storage.
Yeah.
It was a lot of repair initially, and the first year was rough. We had a fridge go down not once, but twice, full of food. Lost everything in it. Had no way to know it was going down ahead of time. Finally had to replace the refrigerator, and that's not a cheap repair in your first 2 years. But we're holding our own. It, obviously it doesn't pay the bills in the winter because we can't get out there in the winter as much as we do. So eventually we would like to find a more permanent place for us that people can know who we are. Right now we're doing a lot of festivals, a lot of pop-up events, and constant hustle to try and find more. I find
What
that
part
the
of, sorry,
payoff is what small ones do, actually.
yeah. What part of Missouri are you in?
Central Missouri, we're in Sedalia.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. How far is that from St. Louis?
About 2.5 hours, I believe.
Okay. I have a,
If
a friend, I have a friend that runs a Philly cheesesteak business out there called Daddy O's.
Okay, cool.
He's actually out there today in 6 inches of snow, hustling cheese.
Oof, I feel
Crazy.
we just don't have a venue close enough to garner enough customers. We've tried. It just isn't enough community or enough community support, one of the two. Everything else is about 90 minutes away. If you were ever where the state fair was here when you were growing up here in Missouri, did you ever make it to the state fair?
No.
Okay. Well, we're where the Missouri State Fair is.
Okay.
That's our claim to fame here in town. And initially, because it was centrally located for the ex to be able to go to work. So I need to downsize.
What's the name of your food truck? What type of food do you sell?
It is Fork in the Road. And we try to keep things kind of farm to table and seasonal, cooperate as much with local farmers and farmers markets as we can. We're based in pasta, crepes, international food, and mom and pop dishes. So we would have things like Cajun chicken pasta, chicken tikka masala, a meatloaf, and some kind of a crepe.
And do you find that your operations, does it garner enough clientele when you're at these events? And do you have a line? Like, can you serve a dish really fast, or you want to keep this type of like gourmet style dishes for the food truck?
We find that generally speaking, we don't run a line for very long.
Mhm.
Our general turnaround time is between 5 and 7 minutes.
Okay.
The only thing longer is if we get a really long run of crepes, because those just aren't feasible to make you can make the crepe, but not put it all together a lot ahead of time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, a lot of that it's made from scratch, but pre-prepared so that it's quick to, plate it up and put it out. So usually our turnaround time is about 7 minutes on average.
What's the most amount of meals you've sold in a day?
Wow, I'd have to look at what ticket numbers were. I know the best day we've had so far was $1,000 day,
Okay.
and that was at a homesteading conference.
Okay.
We turned 70 tickets that day, something like that.
Right.
So
How many hours? How many days are you open, and how do you operate during the summer season that you're open? And
summer season, we're usually open Thursday through Sunday.
okay,
Have tried to have some delivery options, but it's difficult. We kind of refuse to join the DoorDash Uber Bites type because I don't like to mark up my food that much.
hmm
But generally speaking, during the proper season, once it warms up, and then there's a few regular occurring things here. We have a first Thursday of the month that we're part of every month, and that's always a really good event for us. There's a lot of seasonal events around because the fairgrounds is so close.
yeah,
There's pretty constant stream of events there, so that if we're not at one of the other events, like I said, we're looking for a place we can set up consistently, but it's not an easy find here. So that's been the struggle, is to have a consistent place to put the truck that is a good spot for us.
would you like to sell more? Would you like for your food truck to be doing a lot more than it does now? Would you like to be doing this full time?
Oh yeah, very much so. Eventually I'd love to be able to transition to a brick and mortar because I'm not getting any younger, and like you said, this is really hard work.
Yes, it is. Do you have a team that helps you run the food truck, or is it just you and your partner?
My partner is a silent partner. He actually lives towards St. Louis. It's myself and my daughter.
Yourself and your daughter operate this food truck. I mean, you guys are on Instagram?
Yes, but barely. I'm not the tech savvy one. She is.
Are you on Facebook?
Yes.
It's called Fork in the Road.
Fork in the road.
Fork in the Road food truck. Hold on, I found it. I want
More
to.
than one road. I thought I was super original until I started really looking, so I have to be Fork in the Road Mo. But
Oh, Fork in the Road Mo.
it's Fork in the Road on Facebook, but it's Fork in the Road Mo for website. So
Because I have Fork in the Road food truck.
Mhm.
A smoked brisket. No, that's not you.
That's not me.
Fork in the
It's
Road.
just a really pretty picture of my food truck out in the country.
Fork in the Road concession and catering.
Nope. Like I said, there's a few. Not the easiest to find, unfortunately.
The Fork in the Road. There's a lot of them that are called the Fork in the Road.
Mm-mm.
Here, let me share my screen so you can tell me which one it is.
Have to take off my glasses so I can see your screen.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, but I gotta make it bigger.
So we got this first one.
But I don't know whether it'll help you to do Missouri or not. I always tell people the easiest way to find me is to go to the first Thursday. I keep wanting to move your screen. I'm not seeing it. It is difficult to find mine, and I'm not sure why, other than my inability to advertise with Facebook.
There's a lot of them called Fork in the Road.
Well, I can give you a way to get to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Go to Sedalia, Sedalia,
Sedalia.
first Thursday. Look up pretty much any of their posts.
Is it a group? Is it a marketplace? Is it a page?
It's a group. There you go. That top one. If you go to their posts, it'll be one of them will be thanking whoever attended it, and we are in their list of attendees.
Here we go. Here we go. If we have trouble finding it,
I know.
their customers are going to have trouble finding it.
I know. I've
Well,
had a terrible time with Facebook.
One of the first things I would do is try to change that up. So I'm going to find it and give you some tips and tricks. Where are we at?
Well, if you go to one of their listings that's thanking their vendors, it should be early on, or well, late in the year actually.
Listings?
It should list their vendors on there.
Mentions. Let's look at their mentions. Candy Creations, Lolly's Candy Shop.
I was also in the newspaper here too, but
It says Momentos, Designer Touch Boutique. No, these are people that are mentioning this page, the Dahlia's.
Yeah.
These are their posts right here. Their last post was October 20th, 2023.
Right, because that's the last month we have it.
Okay. And then we have, let's open this up. Here we go. Oh
There
my
you
goodness, there's a lot of people in here.
Yes. So I will be in that list.
He's a default. Here
There I
it is.
am.
Fork in the road.
That's me.
Boom. All right.
There I am. I had some difficulties with Facebook because I never received their little 2-penny deposit stuff, so they've decided I'm a fraudulent business. I've contacted them multiple times. Can't get them to take it off.
Where does it say fraudulent business? I don't see anything within.
Doesn't, but it won't let me advertise with them.
You know what I do recommend is just start a new Facebook page. It's not, you're not going to lose anything because all you have to do is remove this website, get a new email address and create a new one, and you can call it Fork in the Road Sedalia or Fork in the Road Food Truck Sedalia. And then once you start new, you can make everything brand new and start promoting. And I would love to see your back end just to see what's going on in the back end to help you out. One of the most important parts that we've seen with food trucks in the 1,000+ food trucks we've helped build, the most successful ones are crushing their social media game, crushing it.
That's my weak spot. I know it is.
Yeah, and you can tell because it was hard to find your business on Facebook.
Yep, I know it is.
Yeah. Let's check out your Instagram. Let's see
there won't be one. My daughter's put it in, but I don't think she's done anything with it. I don't know enough about it. I think my age is starting to show.
Let me see what that's what your food truck looks like. Okay, Fork in the Road. It's a fork in the road. I like the name, by the way.
Thank you.
Looks like everybody puts a fork in the road and then a road behind it. Yep. Again, it's hard to find on social media.
I agree.
Yeah. I could definitely help you with that. If you want any help, I could get on a Zoom call with your daughter and we could go over some strategies to help you get your business. And it's for free. It won't cost you anything. And we could do things that are free that could help boost your social media presence, right? Comes down to how you create your profile, what information's on there. And your last post was November 30th. I get it. You guys are closed, right? For the winter?
Right.
Yeah. but you could keep reminding people of your food and sending them out invitations to follow you, or maybe, get some pre-orders for when you open, things of that nature.
Okay.
Gift cards, for example, gift cards was a great way when I was in the marketing business. Gift cards to the restaurant is cash flow because people are buying the gift card. They don't spend them immediately, but that generates cash flow for your business. And then you could even be honest about it. Be like, you buy a gift card now and use it in the summer, but give it to somebody for, maybe you could do a catering, like give away a $800 or whatever, amount of catering to a family, things of that nature.
Mhm.
But it's awesome that you've been on this food truck journey and that you've taken the leap of faith and that you're actually doing it, because a lot of people will not even start.
Nah. It was definitely that. It was eggs in one basket. This is how we're going to go, do or die sort of. So, and now we're having to change venues and do a few things and adjust, and it's all part of the journey. I'm just grateful to be able to do it.
And you bought your truck outright, right? You don't know anything on the truck. It's yours.
Yep.
Yeah. Thankfully you had that settlement. What would you recommend to people that are looking to get into this food truck and they don't have the funds? Like, is it something you think you would have pursued getting a loan for?
I wasn't in a position to do that.
Yeah.
I think you need to think long and hard.
Okay.
Interest rates being what they are, people need to really consider where they're at. I'm at a point where my kids are grown.
Mm.
I tell people I'm kind of Benjamin Buttoning my way through life. So I'm learning the things I should have and could have learned when I was in my 20s, now in my 50s. The risks that I'm willing to take now are things I probably should have taken in my 20s and didn't.
Yeah.
And the confidence I'm trying to give also probably goes better with someone that's in their 20s. The risk factor is definitely there. I won't kid anybody. Could I go under? Yeah, I could. I won't, but I could. And the only reason I'd say I won't is because I will do whatever it takes till the last. Kind of a never give up mentality. This is I'm happy doing what I'm doing. For other people, I've worked in multiple other areas of work, entirely different areas of work. And this is the place I'm happy. Even when it's working for someone else, working in a kitchen is where I'm happy. It's the ultimate. If someone who likes to take care of people, I have healthcare degrees. I was on a fire department for 6 years. I was a rescue captain for 2 as a volunteer. I've worked for the Red Cross. It's all amazing. But the ultimate instant gratification is watching someone get your food, have a bite, and then stand there at the truck and not move away and do this over a bowl of your food because they don't want to keep moving because it's so good they want to eat it.
Right.
To me, ultimate gratification. The one story that I go to every time that it's meaningful. We were just getting started to the point where someone was having a family garage sale, a neighborhood garage sale. And we went to the garage sale just to put our truck out where people could see it, really beginning. And we had a gentleman drive by, older gentleman drive by really, really slow with an older lady in the car. And 20 minutes later, he came back. And he came and talked to me about the entire menu, discussed it all with me. And he said, my mom hasn't wanted to eat for 3 days. And I thought if I got her something different, maybe she'd eat. So we chose what we chose, and he went home. And that lovely gentleman took the time to come back about an hour later. And he said, she, with tears in his eyes, said she ate every bite.
Nice.
And I'm so happy to see her eat. Obviously, that was 2 years ago.
That's wonderful.
And it makes my day now. It's one of those things that you look back on and go, yeah, that makes it worth it.
I love it. Love that
I
story.
love the great story. I'll hold on to that.
Congratulations, Karen. You are a very good-hearted person, and you are well on your way to, have success in the food truck, even if it isn't doing, more than what it could be doing, but we're going to change that. If you want to grow your sales, we could definitely give you some tips on get you a little bit of momentum. And
I would love to do that.
And I thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Hopefully it works well for your podcast.
It will. It'll inspire other food truck owners. It'll give insight into how people run their food trucks, right? Because not everybody runs their food truck the same. You're operating on temporary basis during the year, and you have a full-time job in the same industry, right? Not everybody has the same industry or can work in a kitchen where they love to be in a kitchen, and you can probably still test your menu while you're in your kitchen. You can do a lot of things for your food truck in your kitchen.
Yep, exactly.
So you're getting to work for your food truck at all times in a kitchen, while others, they might have a 9 to 5 doing something else, and on the weekends is what they do.
And I get to interact with other chefs. The company I work for is a lot of chefs that have worked in the high pressure restaurant industry and want to kind of step out of that level of pressure. So it's a high level of competency, but not as much stress. So I get to learn and sponge as much information and learning off of them at how to turn a good product at a fairly high volume, which we normally don't in the truck, but you still learn so much. You can learn something every time you run into someone in the kitchen, no matter who they are.
What's your favorite dish to make?
Oh, that's tough. It depends on what I'm hungry for, which right now is chicken tikka masala.
I love chicken tikka masala, but I like butter chicken better.
Well, our 2 best sellers in our truck have been our fish tacos.
Okay.
South of the border style fish taco and our Cajun chicken pasta have been the 2 best sellers. Followed by my mom's meatloaf, probably.
You have an oven in your food truck?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about how to set up. How is your food truck set up? And while you're speaking to that, I'm going to look for a book that I just read about. That I'm going to ask you if you've read it, but let's talk about the food truck.
Okay. Well, my food truck is a 1991 P30 old retired Lay's potato chip delivery truck.
Ah.
It has triple sink, hand washing sink, warmer, counter, under storage under the counter.
Okay.
You were to walk in, compartmentally speaking, you'd be warmer to the left, sinks to the right, counter, window to the left, another prep counter to the right after your sinks, then my stove, oven, and a small deep fryer at the far end, 2 commercial refrigerators, and a cold table finish out everything to the left to the back door. And then I keep my crate makers under counter until we get on site.
How much did you pay for your food truck?
Oh, shoot. I'd have to think about that. It was around 50.
Okay.
Right.
Did you take it for a test drive the day you went to look at it?
I did, and turned on equipment. The only thing it didn't turn on because it was so cold was the water.
Okay.
The one that caused us problems later on was something. It was so cold at the time because I believe I bought it in like March, April. So it was too cold to turn on any water then, which is what kind of bit me later on. But we did. And he also drove it an hour and a half to me when he delivered it. So I knew it would travel at the very least. And everything other than the water system. So
has the engine ever given you any problems?
No, we had some problems with some battery drain, but that was an easy fix. We did, I think, a smart move. We did put a battery shutoff to the engine in for 2 reasons, both to avoid that and to honestly make it harder for someone to steal.
Yeah.
Not a problem with it here, but you're never sure where you may park it at events and things like that. So you flip that. It's just one more step someone would have to go to get into it or cause problems with it.
How comfortable was it to drive it at first? Did you get used to it easily, or?
There is still one town I don't want to go to. I've driven horse trailers because I used to ride horses competitively.
Yeah.
It was more comfortable at first driving a horse trailer with 4 to 6 moving animals in it than it was to drive that big sail of a truck in wind. And we have a lot of water and a lot of bridges here.
Yeah.
I went to one event. I kid you not. It looked like the St. Louis Arch for a bridge. And it was this little country road. It was a great show. We had a wonderful time and did really well. I had to find another way to go home.
You
I
did.
couldn't go. I told my daughter, I said, I'm going to have a panic attack going over this, but we have to go over it because there's no way to turn around. And I screamed the whole way across. I'm scared of heights. And it was narrow and it was so steep that you couldn't see the other side of it when you started at the bottom. There is no seeing where it turns out until you get, it's like a roller coaster till you peek over it. That makes me almost shiver in fear now.
Well, you're super brave for what you do. Let me tell you.
Oh,
Getting out there.
it was the closest I've ever come. My daughter was like, "Do you need to stop in the road and let me finish?" And I'm like, "No, you're not insured to drive the truck. I have to do this. I'll just keep going. Keep talking to me. I'll be okay." And we got there, but it was a while before my adrenaline went back down too. So we found another way to get home.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Oh, it was several hundred feet over the water, and it was just 2 lanes and so steep and so narrow. And I was like, oh, wow. And there were cars behind me because, of course, I go slow. So rural food trucking is a whole different adventure.
I imagine. So the book I was looking for is based on the story of a lady that started a restaurant in Maine, and I want to share it with you. I'll find it.
Okay.
She started out of an Airstream, and now she has her restaurant in Maine that only opens for certain months of the year, and they sell out every year. And you have to send in a postcard during the months of January through March, and then they select a certain number of guests that can come out during the season that they're open. So, and she's got a show on either on I can't remember the channel, but she wrote a book about her story, and it's an amazing book about perseverance and getting through some hardships and starting a food truck and then going into brick and mortar. So I'm gonna look for it and share it with you.
Please do. That
It's
sounds
called
great.
the Lost Kitchen.
Lost Kitchen. Awesome.
I will look for it, and I'll get your information, and I'll send you a copy.
Awesome.
It's a great book. Yeah. Karen, thank you so much for making time for being here on the podcast and sharing your story. You're a testament of what hard work can do, and you're very brave to do what you're doing and doing it on your own with your daughter. So if you don't inspire people to get started, if Karen can do it, believe me, guys, anybody can, right?
You betcha. People ask me all the time, I don't know how to cook. I said, anybody can cook.
Yeah.
Not everybody can cook as well, but anybody can cook. And I never hesitate to, if somebody asks me how you make something, I'll teach them.
Nice.
You might as well.
In the down season, you could do more videos on how to cook recipes out of the kitchen and stuff like that.
I've thought about that one too. Like I said, is my weak point, and I know it's the place where I can shine more, grow more. I'm just not that knowledgeable with it.
Okay. Well, we're going to help you.
Awesome. I would really love that.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It was so nice to meet you.
Likewise.
I wish you could weather in your lovely studio, but
thank you. How can our listeners follow you? So if you guys go to Facebook, you can find them on Fork in the Road. And I know there's a lot of Fork in the Roads on Facebook, but look for the one that has a picture of a food truck. And
that is down at the hatchery for goldfish in Missouri, down at Welpman Springs. It's a beautiful picture, but that's actually where that was taken.
You know, if you search Fork in the Road, Sedalia, Missouri, I'm sure it'll be the first thing that you find.
I would hope so.
No, still doesn't come up. Well, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do something. Oh, Fork in the Road food. That's a similar looking logo, but it's not that. It's not your truck. Well, we got. Oh, there it is. I found it.
Yay!
I found it. I'm gonna hit the follow button, and it's the one with the food truck in it, with the background of. Here, let me show it real quick. Boom.
That's me.
What is that in the background you said?
That is the area of Welpman Springs. It was actually at a brewery there, another small business in our area. And they have concerts there, but it is a goldfish hatchery. So all those pools you can see in the background are actually pools that they raise goldfish in.
Nice.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I saw a video that a goldfish can get to like be super huge if you let them live in rivers and things.
Oh yeah, they're just a carp. If
Yeah.
they have enough person, they don't get too cold. It's the heron and the beautiful wildlife down there because they can't do anything to protect the fish. So it's kind of open season. It's goldfish. They're not going to worry about it too much, but the heron all come down there to feed. So the wildlife down there is absolutely gorgeous.
Nice. You live in
Yeah.
a beautiful area.
I do.
All right. Thank you very much, Karen. Thank you for your time. I hope you have a wonderful day. And if you ever need anything, just let me know.
Yes, please stay in touch and I would love to have the help.
Working for a Dream Podcast, let's go! If you're still listening to this right here, right now, that means this podcast episode did something for you. And whatever that was, leave a review and let us know. And make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode of Working